Hey folks, this video goes out to all my brokies out there. This is your guy, Jan. I'm sorry.
Don't talk to me like that. No.
Hey folks, Jan here. Let's talk about system requirements for inZOI. Now, the thing is, I've been sort of watching a lot of different content creators talk about the game, feature the game, and I'm seeing it recently, ever since the character studio for inZOI has dropped for free on Steam. Download it if you want to give it a try yourself. A lot of people in the comment sections have been talking about accessibility and whether their hardware can handle it or not. And I think this is sort of a good moment to talk about system requirements. What does it mean for inZOI and PC gaming in general? The system requirements for inZOI dropped the moment inZOI was posted on Steam, right? And if you're in the know, you've kind of already had a gander, a look at it, and perhaps even judged if your system can handle running inZOI. Here's the thing. I would say when you look at the system requirements for the game, do your best to just not really pay attention to the minimum requirements. In fact, I would encourage you to look at recommended specs as the minimum specs. Minimum can be a variety of different hardware that they use to sort of test if the game will even launch. Just because their game can launch on these metrics doesn't necessarily mean, one, you'll have a good time playing the game, and two, it might not be as reliable as you think having just the minimum system requirements that they put on their page. I would encourage you to sort of look at the recommended portion of their system requirements. Let that be your minimum standard. Should you want to build a PC? Should you want to buy a PC? Look at the recommended, think of that as your new minimum, or even try to do your best to get close to that. I also want to touch upon the idea that The Sims 4, by and large, is a much more accessible game in terms of hardware. You can play that on a variety of platforms. You can play that on console, you can play it on PC, you can play it on your laptop. It's a real wake-up call, I think, as well for a lot of Simmers. The Sims 4 has made a lot of things accessible for a lot of people and on a variety of systems. So inZOI might just be like a wake-up call to a lot of folks who may not have otherwise thought about PC gaming in general. I have since played the character studio and made my own Zois, and as I was doing it, my GPU and my CPU have been running hot as I was playing it. Now that can be up to a variety of things. One, it could be because of my settings that I'm using and how graphically intensive it is, which it very much is. But secondarily, it could also be due to optimization, and that is something the inZOI dev team have spoke about ad nauseum at this point. That's really a focus of theirs, is optimization. Even when you optimize your game, there is a set minimum that your system needs to meet in order for that game to run properly. Because even if a game is well optimized, there are just certain limits, certain thresholds that you just have to cross, and you have to build a system to meet that standard. I'm gonna link a lot of different resources to help you get started should you wanna learn how to build a PC, or secondarily, should you wanna buy a pre-build. I'm just gonna have different resources in the description box below. Hopefully that can help you guys get started. Growing up, I've always had this mentality that I would want to play games that looked incredible and visually stunning, and as I got older, I really convinced myself to work towards that goal, and eventually I was able to get there. But there are a lot of resources now, more than ever, to help you really understand how PC gaming works and how accessible it actually is. Now, the biggest thing when it comes to PC gaming is that, and let no one tell you otherwise, it is a pretty expensive hobby. Even the most affordable systems for most people can be kind of expensive, especially in this economic climate. So I would also encourage you to think about it in this way. Don't stress yourself. If you can't afford a new PC or the parts or what have you, you can always work towards that as a long-term goal. Or maybe, that's just something you're not able to do right now. And who goes to say that inZOI doesn't reach other platforms either, like consoles or what have you? Perhaps not. They haven't really talked about that, because at the end of the day, gaming is a hobby, PC building is a hobby, and there's no point in letting your hobby bankrupt you, right? So that said, there are still a lot of affordable systems out there and affordable ways to create your PC. At any rate, those are inZOI's system requirements. And although it can come as a surprise to a lot of folks, it's just just kind of where this game is at and kind of the audience it wants to appeal to, and that is just their standards. Hopefully, this video can help you, point you in the right direction of where you see, your PC building journey go to. Or maybe you already have the system ready to go and you're ready to play more inZOI. You're just waiting for the early access release date. Who's to say? At any rate, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one, whatever the next one may be. So until then, I will see you then. Bye for now.